Thank you, Matt. One of the objectives you highlighted in your opening statement was Ukraine. You said we're going to make sure Ukraine is in the best position for success. Can you give a sense of how you're going to spend next 2 months to ensure just that? Anything differently? You know?
So I don't have any new. Sorry, were you still going with the question?
For instance, funding.
With what?
With funding issues. Will you be working with the Congress on new supplemental? And also, will you ensure that seized Russian assets, all of them, are transferred to Ukraine?
So I don't have any new announcements to make today, but I can tell you that the president has already made clear that the funding that Congress has been made available, we are working to get all of it out of the door, all of the drawdown authority out of the door to Ukraine before the end of his term. And when it comes to the sovereign assets, we have also made clear that we're trying to operationalize that money as well before the end of the term. And for the details of that, I'd refer you to the Department of Treasury, which of course is the primary agency for that particular aspect.
In terms of capabilities, you made some change capabilities. In May, you changed some capabilities. You allowed them to use your American weapons to hit back inside Russia. That was in response to Kharkiv operation. And now, given the fact that North Koreans are already fighting, in different zones, will you be willing to let them use those weapons in Kursk area?
We are consulting with our allies and partners about the appropriate response to the deployment of North Korean soldiers inside Kursk to potentially engage in combat with, or I should say, against Ukrainian soldiers, but I don't have any announcements to make today.
I'm just having a hard time to understand what is the red line.
I don't think
when they start training, you said you were concerned.
I'm sorry?
When they started training North Koreans, you said you were concerned. When they moved them to the zone, deployed to the fighting zone, you said you were deeply concerned. I hope you will stop being concerned and act, actually.
So, Alex, I appreciate the fact that you ignored the answer that I just gave you, but if you would listen again to the answer I said, we are consulting with our allies and partners about what the response should be right now. And I'm not going to preview what that response will be because it's appropriate that we have those conversations with our allies and partners. I think it's important to remember that the response to Russia's aggression against Ukraine has not been just a United States response. It's especially important to remember this in the context of some of the other questions I'm getting today. It is a response that we have organized on behalf of more than 50 countries. And so we are going to consult with them about what the appropriate response should be, whether it be from the United States, whether it be from other countries, whether it be a joint response like we have undertaken to date.
On that line, Matt, there's a
One
report.
more, and then I'll go to Janie.
Thanks so much. The reports that the U.S. government is preventing Sweden from sending badly needed AWACS aircrafts to Ukraine. Why would you do that?
I haven't seen that report, Alex. I can't comment on the veracity of it. Janie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I have a few questions on Russia and North Korea and China. Russia recently conducted new strategic nuclear exercises, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un announced that the preparations had been completed at the Punggye-ri nuclear site. Meanwhile, the vice chairman of Russia's National Security Council warned that the United States was mistaken in thinking that it would not use nuclear weapons, and said that Russia's use of nuclear weapons was inevitable. What concerns do you have about the nuclear alliance between North Korea and Russia?
So we continue to have concerns about the deepening security partnership between Russia and North Korea, and with respect to those comments, I'd say they're reckless, and as always, we would urge Russian government officials to against making such reckless statements.
The North Korean Foreign Minister Choi Sun-il met with Russian President Putin and Foreign Minister Lavrov and the President to work together until Russia wins the war in Ukraine. Do you think that North Korea's actual involvement in the Ukraine war will prolong the war?
I don't want to speculate. I can tell you that on behalf of the United States, we are going to continue to support Ukraine. We are going to continue to support them on the battlefield, and we're going to continue to work to maintain the alliance that we have put together to back Ukraine to respond to Russia's aggression.
Lastly,
Yeah.
in China, a spokesperson for Chinese foreign minister said that dispatching North Korean troops and the North Korea-Russia military alliance is something North Korea and Russia can do as a sovereign nation. What is your assessment of North?
You've heard us speak to this before. We think that the deepening security partnership between Russia and North Korea, and certainly the deployment of North Korean troops to engage in combat against Ukrainian soldiers is something that ought to be of concern to everyone in the region. We've raised those concerns directly with China, said to them that we believe this should be a concern of theirs, and it's something that they should raise with both countries.